Hello everyone, it's Paul Driscoll here, aka The Drisk. Now today we have a really special exclusive game review for you, which is Metal Man Remixed on the Spectrum. This is a specially put together version of the game that will be offered as a physical boxed game given to higher Kickstarter tier supporters of Sam Dyer's new Spectrum book. For those who don't know, Sam has already successfully produced two brilliant retro books on the C64 and on the Amiga, and he's now turning his attention to the Spectrum computer for his next book. But enough about the book, let's get on to the game itself. Metal Man Remixed is a remastered version of Oleg Origin 1997 game called Metal Man Reloaded. Now this game wowed many back in the day of 1997 and has gone on to win many plaudits. Still, it wasn't without its flaws, having brutal difficulty and most people, including myself, not seeing past level 1. But thankfully a lot of these frustrating difficulty issues have been resolved in this remixed version. The game itself is set in the near future and is a world where the Mafia has embraced robot and cyborg technologies to become an even more unstoppable force, and it also has all the police under its control. You play a renegade cop, Matthew Cranston, or Metal Man, who along with fellow rebel cops is set to work underground and overthrow the Mafia regime, taking out ultimately the head godfather of all the Mafia families, Frank Slayer. Now how about that for a great story? The first thing that strikes you when loading up the game and getting through the great title music and the amazing story is how amazing the game actually looks and plays. This has got to be one of the best looking Spectrum games I've ever seen. I mean literally jaw-dropping. Every single screen was like, how the hell is this working on my humble Spectrum? The character and the enemy sprites all look amazing throughout, and along with the background detailed levels, there's literally so much variety to all the levels that you will encounter. It's also bursting to the seams with character in the game, with your Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s style hero cop giving a running dialogue and giving catchphrases as he kills the enemy. Along with this, you also get taunts from the Mafia boss and useful tips from your fellow cop and IT specialist Linda Hart, who's back in mission control and advising you on your objectives and what to do. Each level has a variety of tasks for you to complete. On the first, you must find all the key pieces dotted around the level, and then you'll be able to exit that level. If that wasn't enough, each level has secrets within it to find, massively adding to the replayability of the game. The gameplay as well is just so good. It really reminded me a lot of the Terminator game on the Mega CD console, being that kind of polished, thoughtful shooter that's more about learning the level layouts and enemy placements and tactically working out how you're best to make your way through the levels and utilise the first aid kits that will replenish your energy and the shield and supergun power-ups to maximum effect. This game really did have me genuinely scribble out maps of the levels and work out the best way through to help me progress, and I love those sort of games. And it's not just the quality of the game, you actually get quantity as well. The game is absolutely huge with 5 massive levels to beat, and it will keep you playing for literally ages. Also, on finally beating the first level after much battling, I was pleasantly surprised on how completely different the second level was to the first, and every subsequent level after that. In the second level, for example, you're now collecting pieces of code to control a crane, and there's completely different enemies to encounter, always keeping you on your toes, giving you something new. The first time I saw one of those huge robo cats come hurtling towards me, I did really let out a little yelp as I was shooting like a headless chicken trying to take them out. And it's this variety that continues on all the subsequent levels that really captivates you with this game. There's always enough surprises, secrets, new enemies, things jumping out at you that you're not expecting, that just keeps you always engaged in the game. Not only that, but the levels throughout have some genuinely great and thoughtful puzzles within it, and great variety in the missions as well, so the game never feels dull, and it genuinely drives you on to see the next jaw-dropping new section or level to complete the game. All in all, this remix version massively improves things over that original 1997 game. It's got incidental nice touches, such as finally a pause mode, touched up graphics and the odd bug fix. But crucially for me and others, the thing that's really improved this remix version is the changes Oleg has made to make the game easier to play. Oleg's done touches where he's reduced the number of simultaneous enemies on the screen, which were impossible in the first. He's added 2 first aid kits that replenish your energy on each level. Things like that are insurmountable in turning this game from being a beautiful but unfair game, as the original was, that had people such as myself rage quitting and seeing it as impossible and not coming back to it, to this remix game being still an incredibly challenging game, but one where you always feel it's possible that you can battle your way through onto the next level. And that, for me, has made this remixed version of the game into a real classic. Are there any negatives to the game? Well, yes, there still is. But most of those is probably because I'm not that much of a complete, insane, hardcore gamer. And so I would have liked an option to make the game even easier. Because even with the changes that Oleg has made, this is still a brutally tough game. The things I would like to see improved in a subsequent version would be adding checkpoints within the levels. The levels are huge and it is quite frustrating when you lose a life having to go right back to the beginning of that level. Also, the game could have benefited greatly from a level password system to save you replaying all the previous levels that you've beaten when you finally die. But in the big scheme of things, they are quite minor really. The game is just fantastic to play. As you can tell, I adore this remix version of the game, and being a huge fan of this style of game, in many ways I think Metal Man Remixed does actually a better version of the Terminator Mega CD game that it's kind of aping, because throughout it's offering so much variety to the levels and the tasks and puzzles in the game that you must overcome, which the Terminator Mega CD game never really gave you. This game really has gone down as one of my favourite Spectrum games of all time, and not only that, I'd probably say in recent years it goes down as one of the best games on any system that I've played. I'm really not exaggerating this, I had so much fun with this game, so you really need to try and track down this game and play it as soon as possible. You won't be disappointed. So until next time, see you later.